beautiful night in an awful world, and eerily quiet. No sounds of bombs exploding or guns being fired. Odd, he now thought, and stood up. At this moment, two of his officers, Lieutenant Stead and Captain Lister, came back down the ladder and walked along their trench towards him. "What's it like out there?" Major James Falconer asked, as the two men came to a standstill in front of him and saluted. "All quiet on the Western Front, sir," Stead said. "Quiet as a mouse," Lister added. "Some mice, indeed," James shot back. "I get suspicious when there are no sounds, no noises. Anyway, did you get it done?" "We did," Stead answered. "Perfectly." "How did you manage that?" James asked, looking pleased. "Very carefully," Lister grinned. "We cut the barbed wire fence attached to the iron stakes at one end using our best wire cutters. Then we took a piece of chain and slotted it through parts of the freed barbed wire. Together we then pulled the chain until we'd made a big enough gap to let 10 soldiers through at once. Best we could do, Major." "You did well. Now we're all set for tomorrow morning." "0 hour," Lister murmured, and added, "I'll be back in a minute." He hurried off and turned left, going down another trench amongst this maze of connecting trenches. These housed more soldiers, were used as kitchens, latrines, and for checking any minor wounds and blisters on the feet. Marching in heavy boots caused problems for Falconer's lads. He sighed under his breath at the thought of the weight his soldiers had to carry when they went out to fight the enemy. Not only a large bag over one shoulder, but a water bottle, a Lee Enfield rifle, a haversack, plus ammunition. About 60 pounds altogether. No easy feat, but they did it well and with stoicism, and fought with precision. Stead, leaning against the side of the trench, cleared his throat and said, "I'll be glad when tomorrow comes and we start fighting. Get it over with, sir." James nodded. "Not so sure it will be over quite so quickly, Lieutenant." Jack grimaced. "I know." He fell silent, then took out a packet of cigarettes and offered one to Falconer. "Thanks, but not right now, Stead." A silence fell between them, and James studied the lieutenant's uniform. Comfortable to wear, and the khaki wool was ideal camouflage in the field. The 4 pockets on the tunic held lots of personal items, plus a soldier's paybook, and an inside pocket at the end of the tunic contained a first aid kit. "We've got the best designed uniforms in the world," he decided, believing his own tailored khaki jacket, double-breasted riding breeches and polished brown boots to be elegant as well as practical. He also carried a large bag, a water bottle and a baton. His Webley revolver, the Mark 6, was in a holster on his left hip. This was a standard sidearm for British troops. His rank insignia of a major was on each sleeve and also on his steel Brodie helmet. The sudden return of Captain Lister, carrying a brown basket, brought James out of his reverie. "What's in that basket?" he asked, his surprise apparent. "Some bread and cheese, sir, and sausage brought up from the village by one of the women. A treat for us all. Sergeant Cox just handed it to me. She was still there explaining what they were." James nodded, a smile touching his mouth. "How very nice those village women have been to us all these weeks. I hope you thanked her, showed her your gratitude on our behalf." "I did, Major, and in French," Lister answered. Grinning, Jack Stead murmured, "Boasting again, Captain." Ignoring this comment made in jest, Lister took the cotton cloth off the top of the basket and showed the food to them. "Plenty for the other lads, you know. Let's dig up a few." As far as James Falconer was concerned, the British Expeditionary Force, as it was in 1916, was the most remarkable military formation ever created, especially the 4th and 3rd Armies, which had already taken the field here. When the 4th Army had moved up from Amiens, they occupied both sides of the River Somme. A large piece of flat land on the right side of the river, an enormous field, in fact, became home to a big part of the British Army. They instantly made it their own territory and, once ensconced, James...